Hey people, you're back with Bwnci, and it's trigger happy time. So, I'm here with Jay Vader and one of my subscribers, Lunder My Skin. A happy coincidence, guys. I wasn't in contact with Lunder before this game, but when he jumped into our lobby, he actually recognised us from my videos, which is, it's always pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I love knowing I've helped somebody. It's really great. It really makes this whole experience quite satisfying and rewarding, and I simply can't help but get a kick out of being known by people. Well, at least for something good. It's just one way to make a girl feel special. But it's both amazing and scary what we can do with the internet. You can just touch so many lives without even knowing and have like an effect or an impact on them, both large and small. And well, guys, I'm going to continue to touch your inner child, okay? And I'm going to show you how to have fun with the Geth Plasma SMG now, okay? This is the gun you guys voted highest on the Venom shotgun video. It still feels weird saying that without being sarcastic, okay? Not your vote, guys, no. The fact that I was able to actually do a Venom shotgun video, finally. People have asked me, is the Venom shotgun the gun that was the hardest for me to unlock? And honestly, it's going to be a toss-up between that and the Paladin pistol. It took me so long to unlock that gun. I think I didn't get it until like retaliation. It's something quite ridiculous like that. Yeah, so if it was, the Paladin pistol was like equal to, or if not more, stressful than getting the Venom shotgun, because oh god, it should not take 6 months to get an element of this game. It just shouldn't. There's something wrong with the store, and it must be fixed in Mass Effect 4. Okay, it must be fixed. But let's move on, okay, guys, because one thing I do want to clear up from that Venom shotgun video is my advice on dealing with armored targets, because there is going to be a lot of that in this video. I told you to go for the headshots to score headshot damage, but I had actually completely forgotten that explosive weapons don't score headshot damage, because that would be broken. Okay? An explosion on any part of the body would hit the head of any trooper-sized enemy, which meant any shot anywhere would be a headshot, so you would just be getting just ridiculous damage all of the time, okay? So try and trigger the damage spikes that I told you about, like we're against the collectors here in this gameplay, and, shooting the Scion sacks, or at least busting those, is going to create a nice spike in damage on him. Go for those, and then after that, just focus on the central mass, because that'll be the easiest shot, okay? But there's some clarification now. Let's move on. I'm going to just flick through my notes here. Ah, yeah, here we go. See, because now we're dealing, what we're dealing with here, the Geth SMG, it's not an explosive or a projectile. The Geth SMG is a hit scan weapon, and despite being described as something that slaps plasma all over everything, is actually really shit against armor, okay? Because apparently in this future, armor can't deal with the stresses of fire, but lasts off the temperatures of plasma. Go figure. See, now the Geth SMG is something that's been around since the Resurgence pack, so something that's been around since I've been playing the multiplayer. The Resurgence pack was great for characters, okay? You got the Batarian, Sentinel and Soldier. You had the Geth Infiltrator and Engineer, alright? And who else was there? Oh yeah, you had the Krogan Battlemaster, easy mode, and then you had the Asari Justicar, a fantastic adept. So really fantastic characters came out in that DLC, but in the weapons department, it was pretty shitty, okay? It really was. This SMG is a lot of fun, but it is not strong on the higher difficulties, due to the ever-increasing number of armoured targets that you've got to deal with as you go up, okay? As a rule, SMGs really aren't designed to deal with armour, but the Geth simply can't without a lot of help. Okay, it's got the weakest bullets of the bunch. Armor just eats them up and shrugs them off. Okay, on gold and platinum, armor absorbs 50 damage points per hit, and the maximum damage this gun does per shot at level 10 is 50.25. Okay, so there's your struggle right from the get-go. If this gun is not being used situationally, or to simply set up tech combos through ammo powers, you're going to need a fair share of weapon bonuses to get anywhere with it. That's not to say situational or combo primer strategy is not viable. This gun weighs nothing, and it is never a problem to just drag it along for the ride, okay guys? But then you have an issue of weapon switching, or just backseating the gun a lot in the higher difficulties. This is why I've brought out the master again, okay? This is the Turian soldier with the highest passive weapon bonuses, a proxy mine debuff, and you've got the marksman supercharge there. There are very few others that do so well at making shit weapons great, okay? This is why I love the Turian soldier, I really do. Now, what the Geth SMG does have going on is an insane rate of fire, an amazing clip capacity, and superb accuracy, okay? After the 6th shot, which takes about 2 seconds to reach, the gun spins up to fire 720 rounds per minute, with a 2.5 times damage bonus. Coupled with the combination of the SMG magazine upgrade and the SMG heatsink, and you will fire forever. You absolutely will. With its 100 clip size and 800 reserve, once maxed out, either mod will significantly extend the time of sustained fire, which is something you always want with a rev-up weapon. If you want to have some fun, okay guys, put this gun with both those mods on a human soldier and shoot the entire game. I am dead serious. That is no exaggeration. You will be able to hit Adrenaline Rush well before you deplete the clip, thereby eliminating any need to manually reload. Obviously you'll need to hit all the ammo boxes, but if you do, the moment you're given the go, you can hold down the trigger and never let it go. Other players will assume your gun is just glitching out, like they frequently appear to for other players in this game, but when they spot it's doing damage the whole time, the reality of the situation will be known. Because of this, it's a very effective mook or trash mob killer. You can effectively just sweep the string of bullets across groups of enemies and inflict widespread damage. It's practically non-existent recoil and spread make it easy to score headshots with, and this rate of fire will just blitz shields and barriers too, okay? So if you have elemental ammo attached, you will quickly prime targets for the respective explosion. However, to truly benefit from that, you would have to be some type of caster character, which is where the gun really starts to fall apart. Oh look, there's me getting my SMG mastery again for doing the Geth Plasma SMG for you guys. But no, the gun really does fall apart here, because as it doesn't seem to know who it wants to work for. It attempts to be a jack of all trades and ultimately leaves itself being a master of none. Okay, it really is. See, this is how it works, guys. If you're using the SMG on a power-based character that relies heavily on fast spamming their powers, it's just going to leave you incredibly vulnerable, or it's going to leave you putting out incredibly weak weapon damage, because you will lose out on some much needed crowd control if you take the time to rev up the gun to its full potential, or you'll find yourself unable to force it back up after every power use. This also leaves you unable to do effective damage from cover, as as the necessary prolonged fire will leave you sticking right out, guys. So your caster characters generally tend to be quite squishy because you've really gone to try and get all the damage bonuses you can, so you do real good damage with your powers, and so you really don't want to be taking a lot of damage with it, but this gun kind of requires you to be standing out there and just drilling the enemy with it. So it's awkward in that sense. And then on the other hand, the gun is simply not strong enough to be the go-to choice for any weapons-based character, so you can kind of see why it has faded into obscurity since its release. Now, still, with a better gun against my head, I'd have to recommend the SMG for your weapons characters over your power ones. Because like I said, if you focus on the gun, you will score amazing fire rate and accuracy. You will score an amazing fire rate and accuracy combo, unmatched by any SMG or assault rifle. That sustained fire can stagger foes too, making achieving headshots even easier again, and that rate of fire and headshot damage multiplier pairing will always produce effective results. Couple this with marksman then, okay guys, and you got something pretty great. The power itself buffs all the weapon's best elements. It increases its rate of fire and the accuracy some more, and it granting some extra headshot damage too. You should be able to eliminate most enemies, even on the hardest difficulties, in moments. We're using the Turian soldier with this weapon. Your Achilles heel, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be armoured targets. Any weapon that does less than 40 damage per bullet, like this one, absolutely needs to stack up on armour piercing, because they otherwise completely suck against the resistance. Armour piercing should take precedence over any other mod, any other mod, should you be limited to one or the other, as any damage increasing barrel will pale in comparison overall. I'll explain that now. This is why I have the high velocity barrel with armor piercing 4s. The usual 25% bonus will provide an insignificant increase to your overall damage, whereas an armor piercing mod, will enable you to do significantly more damage to armor, therefore outweighing the extended barrel in terms of effectiveness on the field. I'm always going to recommend your high-velocity barrels on your SMGs, the Avenger, the Faceton, the Geth Pulse Rifle, Geth Spitfires, because that stupid thing has to rev up for its full damage, your Particle Rifles, and your Typhoons, which are just over the 40 damage per bullet mark, but kicks and waves like a bitch, so it's really easy to lose that extra damage. On weapons platforms like this guy, though, SMGs such as the Locust and the Collector and the Hurricane, of course, don't necessarily need the high-velocity barrel. I just want to make this clear, as you'll most commonly be using something like armor-piercing rounds, like I am now, whereas all SMGs at level 10, apart from the Geth Plasma one here, exceeds the 40 damage per bullet mark. Only the 3 I just mentioned have steady aim, or have twice as much damage as most of the others, okay? I'm going to grab these 2 bitches now. That was quite satisfying. Oh look, damage go for what's that? Over cover grab 2 there. I like grabbing people. I'm really hands-on like that. Now, the only weapons worth taking out without any piercing would need their base damage over 130 to sort of break ahead, because in that instance, an extended high caliber or heavy barrel would increase your overall damage significantly higher than a piercing mod would. Trust me. To be honest though, guys, for the most part, the best option is having them both, having a damage increase and armor piercing, okay? In pretty much most... I don't know the real number. I'm just going to go ahead and say about 90% of the guns in this game allow you to do that, okay? It's only your SMGs and your assault rifles that offer a high velocity barrel that doesn't grant bonus damage as well, forcing you to make a choice. And I've just listed the guns I recommend those barrels for. Okay, guys, so that's that. And that's really all I can tell you about the Geth SMG and how to deal with armor with these kind of really kind of weak guns in general. There you have it, guys. If you want my opinion on what gets the best results with the Geth Plasma SMG, it's my build of the Turian Soldier here with 2 SMG amps. That's, obviously the rail amp in your weapon slot and the amp in your gear slot. And you want armor-piercing rounds, get your high-level ones on, get your 3s and your level 4s on. And you want the high-velocity barrel on it. And I recommend the heatsink over the magazine upgrade. I just generally find, literally on every SMG other than the Collector SMG, which it just doesn't flat-out work out for, you get more. Your clip just goes further with that 30% chance of not firing a round, because they just fire them out so quickly that 30% just kicks in quite frequently. I find that it just like doubles your clip size. The heatsink is a really great mod, and once you've got all that going, guys, you just want to be gunning for the heads of all your targets and just getting some really good damage done. Alright, and what you can do, I'm going to probably put up a little annotation here so that you can go ahead and watch my Turian Soldier video. It's one of my personal favourites. I think I did a pretty good job of the commentary working with the gameplay in that one. It was actually the first time I went with the formula I use in all my videos now, where I sort of just give a quick summary of the build and why it works and stuff like that, and what weapons and mods to put on, and then I go into more the options and the details during the gameplay, because in a lot of my videos before that I got all these details down for you at the beginning of the video, because I figured back then that it was just a good quick sort of a great source you could just flick back onto. So if you ever wanted to know what the choices I gave for a character are, you wouldn't need to sit through the whole video and find them. You could just watch the first 15 minutes, which it usually worked out as, and get all the information then, and then if you really felt like it, you can catch the gameplay at any time. So I was separating it back then, but it ultimately left me with nothing to say during the gameplay, because as fun as this game is, it is repetitive. So it's like within 5 games I could pretty much cover how a typical Mass Effect multiplayer game goes, and then I was like, I needed more to say about what was going on, and unfortunately I was saying all of that in the beginning of the build section of the video. But the Turian Soldier is in this format that I always use it. So you can just jump in, you'll get the build thrown right at you, and then it just moves on. Okay, so it's not nothing long or drawn out with me explaining each individual power as we go along it. I was just going to hit you with it there. But to fill space now, I think I'll give you, well, I'll just tell you the build. I think off the top of my head, I'm going to be doing this as well, guys, because I haven't bothered to open up any resources because this wasn't the plan. I think for marksman, you want the first evolution is going to be the firing rate, and then you want the headshots. I used to, in the video, I'm going to recommend that you go for duration, because this was before, no, actually it wasn't before, I was just being a bit old school at the time, but before, the marksman didn't used to reload your clip. Okay, it didn't. That was something that Adrenaline Rush did, and I think Adrenaline Rush should only be the one that does it. But whatever, that's not the case now. So really, you're best going for the headshots, okay? Because the headshot's going to give you the extra headshot damage bonus, obviously, but then you also score the fact that you're able to use marksman more frequently, and then it's going to be reloading your gun constantly. And it came to a point where I was just thinking to myself, I was like, there's absolutely no reason not to take that evolution. As cool as duration always has been, headshots just works out better now because of what marksman can do for you. Yeah, if you can see the annotations in my videos, there's going to be an annotation of that warning you to go with headshots now, because that's what I've been doing. Anytime I've updated any of my builds, I put a little annotations up in those sections which tell you what my update is. But if you can't see it, I'm telling you now. Okay, guys, go with the headshots for your second, for the 5th evolution, and then finally you want accuracy and firing rate of that. I don't bother with concussive shot. I don't. Because when you're using marksman, you don't get to use another power, and concussive shot is great for spamming, and you're just not going to, if you're going to be using marksman, you're not going to be spamming concussive shot, so you're better off going with proximity mine, because then you can occasionally debuff the big enemies before you start drilling into them. And proximity mine's more the same, just a little change at the end. I go with the radius and the damage taken for the first 2 evolutions, and then for your final evolution, I highly recommend you go for the recharge speed, because you don't have tactical cloak on, guys, so you are going to get the full proximity mine recharge speed, and it's quite long. It is actually quite long. You don't realise it when you're throwing out your proximity mines on your infiltrators, but when you start using a guy like this, it becomes abundantly clear. Obviously your passives is all weapon damage, guys. You want damage and stability, headshots, damage and stability, and for your fitness, all health and shields. And that's the Turian soldier build. Now I'm going to rush over to extraction now and try and capture this point. This is the Giant is. No, it's not the only one, but it's one of the few where the extraction spot is actually the strongest point on the map. And if you can't get your guys over here quick enough, they will all be in the bunker. They will typically spawn at that back room, which you can battle if you want to during extraction. But it's not a bad idea to just rush in here and make sure you can claim this LC section, because then the rest of the extraction is going to be really easy going. You've got tons of cover over here and a nice ammo box. Okay, it's a generous ammo box. It's going to just keep you and your teammates just able to handle anything that slowly comes around the corner for you there. But that's it, guys. That's my opinion on this weapon. Okay, guys, if you want my opinion on another weapon, it's time to vote now. Okay, it really is. I'm still going to suggest the Locust, although for something different next time, you might want the Chrysay. Okay, that's another gun I want to play with. There's also the Striker or the Mattock. These have been suggestions already that's interested me the most so far. I would like to give them a go. If that sounds good to you guys, put that down. But it's ultimately, it is up to you guys. Right? It's all up to you. Leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of this video, and then tell me what you want to see in the next video. Thumbs up any comments that already have your vote there, and thumbs up this video for me. That really helps me out too. Hell, if I freaked your mind, favorite and share my videos, okay, guys, and we will dominate the world. I'm probably going to cut off a little earlier here because there's only about 15 seconds left on extraction. I'm just going to say to you guys, thanks for watching and take care of yourselves now. Okay, guys, I'll leave you with the last 10 seconds and the scoreboard. Bye-bye.